On this video, we're going to talk about the gear that you will need to successfully shoot great real estate photos. And one of my favorite things about real estate photography is you don't need a bunch of complicated and expensive gear to get great results. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of new real estate photographers making is going out and wasting a ton of money on really expensive camera gear because they think that's going to help them get better results. And not only does it not make a difference in your final results and cost you a bunch of money, it just makes things more complicated. The more gear you have and the more complexity is not better in real estate photography. And so here is what you do need to know when it comes to what gear that you will need as a real estate photographer. Number one, there are two different types of cameras that you can have today. One is a full frame camera and one is a crop sensor camera. And all that means is that there's a sensor in both cameras that absorbs light and actually creates the image that you get in your camera. And the size of that sensor varies from camera to camera. So in a full frame, typically a more expensive camera, you will have a physically larger sensor. And in a crop sensor camera, which is usually more of an entry-level camera, you're gonna have a smaller sensor size. And the reason I'm telling you that is because you'll need a different lens for each type of camera. Meaning the lens that will work on a full frame camera is not going to work on a crop sensor camera. So here's what I want you to do. If you already have a camera body that was made in the last 10 years, you more than likely will be able to use it. Maybe you already have a lens as well. So what I want you to do is comment below the exact gear kit that you currently have, and our team of coaches is gonna respond to you and tell you, hey, that's gonna work perfectly, don't waste any money. Or number two, hey, maybe that body will work, but you'll need to get a different lens, or whatever is true for your specific situation. So if you don't currently have any gear, here's what I recommend doing. Linked below this video is my gear kit, and it's broken up into two different categories: a budget kit and then the kit my employees currently use. If you open that budget kit, you're gonna see our most up-to-date camera recommendation. That is the budget-friendly option. And don't be afraid of it when I say budget-friendly option. It is not gonna make any difference at all with your real estate photos. The difference with the budget kit and then the kit my employees use is gonna be more about just convenience of use. So in the kit my employees use, it's a physically larger camera, it has better battery life, it's easier to touch the buttons, and it kind of looks more professional in front of your clients. But if you're not shooting a lot of real estate yet, you don't need to spend money on that side of things. The budget kit is gonna be great. It's just gonna require a little bit more battery changes, and it's a little bit smaller, the screen's a little bit smaller, and so it's gonna save you a ton of money, but it will be a little bit more inconvenient to use. My philosophy with this business in general is I got into real estate photography to make money and not spend it. And so if you're just getting started, my recommendation to you is to get the camera and lens in the budget kit. Start getting yourself some real estate shoots, make some money from clients, and take that money you get from your clients, and if you choose in the future, use that to upgrade your camera gear. I'm a big fan of letting your clients pay for your upgrades. So that is the camera and lens side of things. So besides the camera and lens, there are two other things that you will need to shoot great real estate photos. Number one is an SD card. Don't spend a lot of money on an expensive SD card. You'll see one in my recommendations list below. Just grab one of those. And then number two, and very importantly, is a tripod. You absolutely have to shoot real estate on a tripod. You can't shoot it handheld. And so in the budget kit, you'll see the cheapest tripod that I recommend. It's not the sturdiest tripod out there, but it's not too flimsy to use, and it's a good balance of budget and quality. And so if you want to go the cheaper route, I absolutely recommend that. Now in the kit my employees use, you're gonna see this tripod head and a similar tripod legs, as you can see here. When you shoot a lot of real estate, you'll realize that having a good tripod head, like this geared head is that you can see here, is really nice. Because with this, we're trying to make all of our real estate photos straight, get the vertical straight, everything like that. I can make small adjustments very easily by twisting these knobs. So this tripod head is a little bit more expensive, but when you're shooting a lot of real estate, it's really convenient. Whereas the budget kit tripod head, you have to loosen it and the whole thing kind of goes loose, and so it's kind of harder to get things straight. I think it's totally great to get started, but when you look at upgrading, one of your first upgrades is probably going to be the tripod head and tripod legs. And so if you have a little bit more money, that is the one thing that I'd recommend getting good from the start, is the tripod head and legs. So overall, as you can see, real estate photography is very, very simple gear-wise. We don't need any sort of lighting. We only need a single lens, and the gear overall is very cost effective. And that's one of the things that I love about real estate photography. So if you're already a photographer, all of this probably made sense. You probably got the picture. If you're new to photography and you didn't know some of the terms I'm saying, that is totally okay. We are always here for you to ask us questions, and that's part of what it takes to learn anything new. So those things you didn't know, make a point to go figure out what they were, and you'll slowly build your confidence to be able to shoot awesome real estate photos. And that is all you need to know when it comes to gear for real estate photos.